So I applied, and in that summer, I remember, there was no internet. There was very little sort of resource books that one could buy.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in the library in London and finding a Music Week directory, and I wrote 150 letters to every
Wow.
recording studio in Britain. I remember writing one up in Glasgow, thinking, if I ever get this, how am I going to get to Glasgow? My mum won't let me go to Glasgow. It's, and I wrote 150 letters, and I was horrified. I didn't get one response. I thought, well, it was a great letter. I'll make tea, I'll clean toilets, I'll do anything. I love music. Here's my top 10 records of all time, my great top 10 artists, etc., etc. Top 5 probably. And I didn't get anything back. So I went to college, and I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that sense of freedom that college allowed, that a strict Catholic uniform, all single-sex boys' school didn't. I mean, there was girls in the class. I mean, that was just, that blew my mind, because we didn't have that. It was, we still had caning at our school. And detention, if your tie was undone, the button was undone, if you put your bag on your shoulder, detention. I mean, it was just so nonsensical. We look at it now and think, we'll never go back to that way again.
Well, we hope not.
One would know, yes, you never know the way the world's going at the moment in an Orwellian sense. But so I went and had great times, and I loved the 3 months that I was at college. And I say 3 months because I got a letter back. And one studio, and it happened to be in Soho.
Oh, on your doorstep.
Happy days, Catholic boy gets to go and play in Soho.
Well, you'd had 3 months trial at college.
Yeah, well, that really was a trial compared to some of the things that happened in the studio. But I got an interview, and I went to the basement recording studio, and they had the Trident desk that Pink Floyd recorded Dark Side of the Moon on. And I remember going and being interviewed by this. I mean, I'll change the names to protect the innocent. But his name was Mark St. John. No, yeah. And he was the drummer in the Pretty Things. And he was a very strange chap who I bumped into recently, actually, and I know him quite well. And so he's fine, but he did have a sort of strange way of interviewing people that was a bit leery. And anyway, and I went down into the basement, and it's on Wardour Street, so it's in the centre of everything. And I think I literally just touched this desk and went, that's where Gilmour touched that. That's where the Waters of Vader there. And I'm literally doing it, and he's watching me going, very strange behaviour from a 17-year-old boy. But I got the job, and I started pretty quickly. And, and I had to tell my parents that I was no longer going to be a lawyer, which is what we'd always thought, because I could argue the top of anybody. And that's where that was my fallback plan, was to do that. And so off I go. But I didn't have the balls to tell my parents that I wasn't going to college. So they didn't know. And I was going off. Instead of getting the train to Twickenham, I was going off on the Piccadilly line to go and work there. And I'm coming back at 3 a.m. after a session. And I remember sort of my mum saying, oh, bless you, you're out with your schoolmates. You're out having a party. You don't smell
having a good time.
You don't smell of booze. No, I'm not drinking, And it was just bizarre. I couldn't tell her. And it was kind of like... that guy in the Full Monty that won't tell his wife he's lost his job and goes to the job centre every day, gets dressed up and does it. It was a bit like that.
It's a good job there was no uniform at Richmond College, isn't it? Because then you could arrive at the office in your blazer and tie.